This video, we're going to look at a question that I get asked a fair amount is how do you get inspired to create designs that are all different, that will give you a range of different things that you can then put forward as a design proposal. And it is quite tricky to do that. And the best way to do it is to show as many ways that that can happen as possible. So we're going to start today with the context of everyday technology. And my general brief is to design and make a product that will enhance my client's experience with technology in his day-to-day life. Now, my client is going to be a late 30s teacher who uses his phone and computers for work, travels to and from work on his bike, so he needs to take his things with him. Obviously, I would go into more detail with what my client has, what they need, the different things they use their technology for, to give me some more opportunities that I could talk about in relation to the designing aspect. But what I'm going to focus on today is getting an idea of my client goes to and from work with cables like this for chargers for laptops and to download photos from his phone onto his laptop so he can print it for his students perhaps. And so I was thinking about actually how can we make those tidy, because they go in his backpack, they get knocked around. So I actually had this lying around. This is from an older Apple product, and the cable from this older Apple product used to kind of sort of insert into here, and then the cable used to just kind of just insert into here. Now this cable is not an Apple cable, and there's too much cable for it to sit in there, but you can see how that kind of would keep it together. Not that effective for this cable because it's much tougher. It's braided so it doesn't bend as easily. It's not as malleable in that sense. So we're going to look at, I'm looking exclusively at trying to make the cables tidier, which is, it's been done a lot of times, but it's a worthwhile demonstration for the purposes of what we're doing. So the first thing you need to do is try and get some inspiration onto your page to show where you're going to get your ideas from or where you might be inspired. Now, you can get a whole range. You can use them all. You can use some of them. You can use none of them. They might inspire you to move somewhere different, but having a starting point to inspire you is really useful. And obviously, you can do that with existing products. You can do that with things from nature. So that's what we're going to look at today. Is the first stage is to get that inspirational imagery onto our design page here. So I'm going to go to my internet and we're going to have a look. So first of all, we're looking for things that existed already because it's the easiest way to do it. And just type in different searches. This one was a search for headphone tidy, and you just get images that inspire you. So I took a couple from here. I could wrap it. I can have something that goes around it, like this one here. I could use all sorts of things, really. This cute ones that look like teddy bears. Obviously, my client's not going to like things that look quite so cute because he might have a different style, a different aesthetic that he prefers. But you get the idea of where we're going to move with this. So once I thought about this, actually, I could just put an elastic band around the cable and it'd be no problem. So I looked at bungees. I looked at different tying options with these, so to see how that could work. Maybe take a couple of those, perhaps. Traditional cable ties, they're useful too. Cable tidy is a little search that I did. Got those traditional sort of fabric or leather strapping ones. Obviously, these are all too large and too sort of permanent, fixed behind a desk to be worthwhile looking at. But it gives you an idea where to go. This is Velcro. So that sort of thing. So you this one hooks things on, so that might be useful to understand how that works. Then I looked at things from nature. So looking at claws, can you think about, perhaps having some kind of mechanism that has these sorts of shapes, perhaps, or some kind of clawing thing that when you put it in, it holds it. So maybe just copy that one, add that on. And then I got onto grippers, from claws onto grippers to see how things go, see how they might work. And again, it's looking at shapes, looking at how it functions. And then I got onto quirky, got onto Lego, because obviously we can repurpose things as part of our design, that's worthwhile too. Even just using the shape and the size of that Lego person's hand can be useful to do that. So we head back onto here. Obviously I copy and paste some of those, got a few there. Pop that last one on. Now ideally what I would do is I would start to analyze these images and products and kind of think, well, what could I take from that? What's inspiring me? And I might annotate that. So I might say that the fact that this one moves up and down, this one's sort of, this clip section is weaker, so it actually moves. There's some give in it. There's some play in how that moves around. So you can squeeze the cables in here and then they won't come out. Whereas, for example, if I just had the simple shape here, like this claw, that wouldn't actually hold them. You'd need to be able to have some movement. So that's going to inspire me there. The size of this one will inspire me, in the shape of it. The fact this is wrapping things around to keep the cable tidy and not loose would inspire me there. So you're taking different little bits from every image, and if you could write those on, then that helps whoever's watching and looking at your design sheet will understand where that journey is taking you. Okay, so I've got some images here. We'll start to annotate them, and then we'll start to take the inspiration from here and start to turn it into tangible sketches and ideas.